Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will show you how to configure and deploy a Mudrex automated crypto trading bot based on a TradingView strategy that was actually emailed to me to see if I could get it to work. And I'm not actually sure if the individual wanted me to get it to work through TradingView, or after I looked at the strategy, Mudrex looked like the best option. So after extensive review of the actual strategy and configuring the bot and doing a little back testing, and it's important to note that this strategy was considered a long-term strategy that the individual was going for. And so I did a back test on a 1.5-year time frame on ETH USD trading on Binance and 1-hour candles. And the results over that year and a half would have been a profit of 331% for the bot, versus the market, had you just bought and held ETH back a year and a half ago, of 301%. So you basically beat the market by 38%. And anytime you can beat the market by 38%, you have a winning strategy on your hands and you should deploy it. Now, with that all being said, it is also very important to understand past performance does not dictate future performance. And the market we've been witnessing over the past year and a half, we may not see again for 2-3 years. And so it is always important to manage your risk and your bots. And in this case, you can even see if you can't stomach a 20% drawdown, then this bot might not be for you. And it's not a highly active bot either, because again, it's based on long-term results. But if these types of results are what you're looking for, then stick with me. We'll get to the configuration in a moment. But first, if you're not familiar with Mudrex, it is a platform that allows you to actually create your own crypto trading strategies and deploy a bot on your exchange. And with that being said, it's important to note that your funds never leave your exchange. You don't send your money to Mudrex. You actually just connect your exchange via an API key, so Mudrex can send buy and sell orders. They can't withdraw your money. They don't actually have access to your funds. Now, as far as the team goes, I have been on video conferences with the folks. They're legit. They actually are traders themselves. They actually invest in their own strategies and trade with those strategies and are successful with those strategies. So the team, it's not a bunch of anonymous people that will disappear in the night. They're legitimate people. But as always, you need to do your own recon. And if you wish, you can actually start for free, $0, and that will allow you to deploy a bot like I'll be deploying today. There are a few differences, like limited number of back tests, and then your tick interval is 15 minutes versus 1 minute, and you'll pay a little bit more of a fee when you're investing. Or if you prefer, you can do the premium account, and that's a $16 investment, which is pretty much nothing, and you have pretty much unlimited access to everything, and your fee will be cut in half. So either one will work for the strategy I'm building out today. So with that all being said, let's get to it. Now, first thing we'll look at is the actual strategy that was sent to me is based on a TradingView strategy that the individual is looking for long-term results. And it is based primarily on entry of position on moving averages, the MACD, EMA, and SMAs, all moving up. EMA 20 greater than the 100 and the SMA 100 greater than the 200. And for an exit of the position, if it hits a stop loss, obviously it would exit, or if the EMA 20 crosses under the SMA 100. So when I saw these guidelines, I thought right away that Mudrex had the perfect platform to configure such a strategy. And the individual's goals, when he did some back testing from January to November 2020, so just about a year, you can see his ETH USD. I believe this was being traded on Kraken, from what I can tell. So it was ETH USD at 144%, and he had 8 trades. And BTC was up 120 and 7 trades. And he was actually using 4-hour candles, where in my example, I used 1-hour candles, ETH USDT on Binance. And for the 1-year results, if from January to January, my returns would have been 400%. So that would have actually outperformed this 144, and if you look at the number of trades is actually 25 versus 8. And another factor that is a difference maker on those returns is the above returns did not compound your profit, where down below his returns were 189% on 8 trades. And in Mudrex's case, you can see it does actually compound. You start out with $100 and you continue to trade more as you progress up, or you might trade less if you take a loss, obviously. And so my returns are a result of the compound effect. And so now let's get into the actual configuration based on entry and exit. And what that will end up looking like is this dashboard here from the Mudrex config panel. And I will end up with a variety of action blocks that are either buy or sell. So to start from scratch, we'll jump over to the Mudrex platform and we'll choose strategies from the tabs at the top. And in this case, new strategy. And I can do visual editor or external signals. Now the external signals, I do have videos where TradingView actually sends a signal to buy or sell. But in this case, we're going to do the actual visual editor. And we will need to drag over action blocks. And in this case, we're going to have some compare blocks. And we'll have some trend blocks. Now these 6 action blocks will all be buy triggers, and I will need the AND option so that it will require all these blocks to actually execute a buy. So I connect the AND to the buy box, and my one and only sell auction block I can connect right away to the sell, and we'll set that up first. And my sell is going to be based on the strategy they had for exit position EMA 20 crossing under SMA 100. So I need EMA and SMA. And I want the EMA crossing down through the SMA. And then as far as the periods, it was the 20 EMA crossing down through the 100 EMA. And we click OK. And then you actually click on the line and the little pencil here. And I only want this to close long positions. And now we have our sell side configured and ready to go. So let's get to these 6 action blocks. So the first action block we're going to set up will be a compare block. And in this case, we are going to compare according to the strategy. We want the EMA 20 greater than the SMA 100. So again, we go EMA, SMA, and you can see now we have EMA greater than SMA, and then the parameters are going to be the 20 and 100. And we click OK. The next block we configure will be the SMA 100 greater than the SMA 200. So they'll both be SMA, SMA, SMA greater than SMA, and parameter 100 versus 200. And we click OK. Again, I just click and drag the arrow, and I can connect the 2 blocks that are configured to the AND. So both of these need to be true in order for the buy order to be placed. Now the third compare block doesn't actually fall within this configuration here. It actually comes from the actual code down below. And so I actually had to decipher some of the programming code to come up with some of the settings for this particular bot. Now, I didn't follow this strategy exactly. He has some ATR settings and RSI settings in his strategy that I did not put in my strategy, as I could not get them to perform as well as I did without them. So The next compare block I'm going to do is a MACD is rising signal. And how I ended up doing that is MACD versus MACD. And I wanted the MACD crossing up through the signal line. And the parameters for that, the defaults are 12.26.9 on both sides. Again, I had to go into the code, and in the code, he actually listed the close 12.26.7. And so I end up changing the signal to 7. Now the MACD compare block is configured. I can also connect it to the AND. And so next I need to configure the 3 trend blocks. So we'll start with the first one, and the trend we want on this is going to be bullish, and then my parameters are going to be closed, EMA 20 as we recall, and last, the trend persistence. I had to look back to the code to see what he was looking for, and EMA is rising, EMA 2. And so we drop in a 2. Advanced parameters are already set up. I click OK. And now I connect my block. And now we move on to the next block. And that will be another trend block. We want it to be bullish. In this case, it's going to be SMA. And it will be 100. And if we go back to the code, he had the SMA is rising with the 3 persistence. And we already have that. And we'll click OK. And we can connect that block to the AND. Cleaned up the visual editor board a little, and now we're ready to move on to our final trend block. And in that case, we were going to do the SMMA. And the moving average period would be 200 on this one, as it's the slower moving average. And the persistence, if we jump over, in this case is going to be 10. And keep in mind, this video is intended as a how to configure, not a how to copy my strategy. I highly suggest you do your own recon, play with your own figures here, and come up with your own strategy. But with that being said, and then of course we want this to be bullish, and we click OK. And I need to name the strategy, and in this case we'll just call it Recon Bull. And as you can tell, the reason for the name Recon Bull, this particular strategy is intended for a bullish market, which we're currently in. And so if the market was to turn bearish, this strategy would most likely be obsolete. Okay, so now we have that all configured. We've named it. We click Save. Let's do a quick back test and see how we did. And so I'm going to work on, let's say, Binance US this time. So for those of you in the US, you can actually use Binance US. And we'll go USDT and ETH on the 1 hour candles. And again, the individual who made that strategy was having more luck on 4 hour candles. And again, this is not an exact copy of the strategy. I made some tweaks here and there. I've done a ton of back testing. So let's go ahead and back test this on the 1 hour versus what they were doing on the 4 hour. And see how our results turn out. And we can see some pretty good results. If we click the little actions button, it will give me a more detailed breakout of the results. And on Binance US, ETH USDT on the tick of 1 hour from October 2019 to January 21, that's a pretty long time frame, we would be up 318%, and the market would have actually beat this bot. But with that being said, unless you had a crystal ball, there's no way to know this. If I'm up 318% on any trading strategy over this length of time, I'm probably going to be pretty happy. Now, there's some other factors here like performance score, your Sharpe ratio. You always want to be above 1. I like to be somewhere above 2, although you don't want it to be too high. Then you're probably not putting on enough risk. And with this bot, you still would have had a max drawdown of about 20%. profit factor of 6. Again, anything above 2 is where I'm shooting for. And over that time frame, which is a pretty long time frame, we had 29 trades. So there's not a lot of activities. So let's break this down to a 1-year time frame, January 8th to January 8th, 2020 to 2021. And our performance is still excellent, 359% return. Obviously, the market return in the last couple days, ETH has gone parabolic. There's no way for you to know that's going to happen. So in order to be able to beat that market, not realistic. And again, this bot was designed for long-term trading. And so I don't know anyone who would be unhappy with the 360% return. Had I told you January 8th, 2020, I could return you 360% profit on your investment, I think you would have been throwing money at me. So again, 25 trades, not a whole lot of activity. That's about 2 trades a month. I will be doing a series in the very near future. Mudrex has approached me to do a series of videos to break some of this stuff down in detail. So now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss out on those videos on how to break down what Sharpe ratio or profit factor, max drawdown, or even their own performance score that they rate them with. And 8 is obviously considered good. And diving a little further into numbers, my average loss is only 2% versus an average profit of 17, almost 18%. That's almost a 1-to-9 risk versus reward. That is acceptable in my books. And if you can keep your risk versus reward at a 1-to-3, you'll most likely be a profitable trader in the long run. And we scroll down and look through the actual numbers. We see smaller losses. These two got away a little bit. But as we continue to scroll up, we see huge wins, very small losses, which, again, if I'm wrong, I want out as quickly as possible. Bigger wins, small loss, big win. And this position is actually still open and not closed, and it's up 52% right now. You could, essentially, if you want to take advantage of some of those bigger wins, you could actually manually close out that trade, or you could set up your take profit feature, and you could say take profit as a percentage at 50%. If I hit 50% profit, I want out. However, I would not necessarily deploy that feature in this situation. As the back testing shows me, it seems to be working. You may also want to set up a stop loss. Maybe you can't stomach a 20% drawdown or even a 9% drawdown. You could set up a percentage like, say, 9%. And let me be clear, I do not recommend anyone trade without a stop loss unless you're an elite trader and you thoroughly understand the risk involved and you're willing to put that risk on. So let's see how this spot would do with, say, BTC. And the time frame I'm going to set this at will be the 4-hour. I've done a bunch of back testing. I know the 1-hour does not test as well. So we'll start the back test on the 4-hour time frame. And we get decent results again. Let's click on actions and break that out into more detailed results. And again, for just about a year and a half, we almost actually matched the market, which is not too bad. We only have 9 trades, very little trades. Max drawdown is similar, right around that 17 to 20% range. Let's jump this down to 1 year. Again, this strategy is a long-term strategy. We only have 8 trades, so we don't even get 1 trade a month. So you action junkies, this isn't going to be for you. But we're still 260% returns over 1 year. Again, if I came to you in January of last year and said, I can get you 260% return trading cryptocurrencies, I'm pretty sure you would have given me your money. Sharpe ratio, excellent. Profit factor, outstanding. Let's look at the actual trades. We can see a couple small wins, a bigger win, a little bigger losses. But again, these big wins, this position's up 99% and it's still open. You could essentially manually close this position and take your win. And you can see again, we started with $98 And after 1 year, we're up to 178. So it's essentially compounding our profits or losses. You know, you take a hit of 7.8%. So now you only have 108% to invest in the next trade. And so now we've done our back testing. I think it's time to go ahead and let's actually deploy this bot. So at this point, I'm going to click on live trades, and I'm going to use the exchange of Binance US, USDT, and for starters, I'm going to start with ETH on the 1 hour and start live trade. And then the amount of money I'm going to give the bot will be $500. And now my bot is trading live on Binance US. And if I jump back to the home page, you can see I have my Ichimoku crossing strategy that's up 21% so far. And the Recon Bull was just deployed. And obviously we won't have any results until we actually engage in some live fire and get some trades under our belt. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I will be doing an update video on this particular strategy in the near future. So now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button. If you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment or question box down below. I will leave a sign-up link in the description down below for Mudrex. If you use my sign-up link, you will get a free $25 bonus. And so that'll be down in the description of the video. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.